welcome to the MRTV review of the PICO 4 Ultra. The new PICO 4 Ultra is PICO's urgently needed refresh of the original PICO 4 to be able to stay in the game and compete against the current king of mainstream VR, the Quest 3. It's an upgrade that surpasses many of Quest 3's specs and even puts in full body tracking thanks to the new motion trackers that are compatible to VR chat out of the box. Sprinkle in some Wi-Fi 7, fast charging capabilities and a new operating system that allows for working and playing in mixed reality, and PICO hopes not to only compete against Meta's Quest 3 but also offer a much cheaper option to Apple's Vision Pro. In this review I will let you know where I believe PICO succeeds with their strategy, but why overall the PICO 4 Ultra is going to have a tough time in the market and could have been so much more if PICO would have put in more effort. And now absolutely stay tuned, watch the whole review because all of this goodness is coming up. Today's video is brought to you by Hans VR Lens Inserts. Hans VR is an MRTV channel sponsor, and if you are a glasses wearer, I highly recommend their VR lens inserts. Hans VR offers high quality products at very competitive prices, all while delivering lenses in only a couple of days, no matter where you are. And you're raving about their great service, so go to hansvr.com, get your lenses and use code MRTV for a 5% discount. Thanks to Hans VR for sponsoring the channel. And we're going to start this review talking about features and price of the PICO 4 Ultra. As the name already implies, the PICO 4 Ultra is an updated version of the original PICO 4. At first sight, you can hardly distinguish the two headsets. They share the same sleek looks and still place the battery in the back of the head strap. A small detail that many loved about the PICO 4 because this design offers a balanced fit right out of the box without the need to buy a third-party solution. The updates can be found within the headset and in the sensors. The PICO 4 Ultra now catches up to the Quest 3 in terms of SoC. It also features the Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2 now, albeit with 12GB of RAM instead of the 8GB the Quest 3 offers, giving it an edge for multitasking operations, as I will later explain in more detail. The headset now also boasts two RGB pass-through cameras with double the resolution of the Quest 3 for 3D pass-through and mixed reality functions, as well as a depth sensor. The new sensors also allow the PICO 4 Ultra to capture spatial videos and pictures just like the Apple Vision Pro. The battery now has a capacity of 5,700 mAh. Quest 3 has 4,879 mAh and allows for fast charging with a 45-watt charger that is unfortunately not included in the box. If you have such a charger, you can charge the headset from 0 to 80% in just 38 minutes. Unfortunately, PICO has not improved the optical stack at all. It's still the same 2160 by 2160 LCD panels and pancake lenses that were competitive in 2022, but already at that time had their fair share of problems, even though they did not have to compete against the Quest 3 at that time. As you will find out in the remainder of this review, not having updated the optical stack is my main gripe with this refresh, and why in my opinion this will have a hard time to compete against the Quest 3. The headset comes with 256GB memory on board, doubling the memory of the entry-level Quest 3 model. It retails at €599 and includes the full body motion trackers for customers that make use of the pre-order deal that also comes with 4 games. Comfort. Let's talk about the comfort of the device. Not much has changed here. If you love the PICO 4's balanced design with the batteries in the back and a hard strap instead of the replaceable soft strap, you will also enjoy the PICO 4 Ultra because it's exactly the same design. The device is light at only 580 grams, and it includes the front, 304 grams, as well as the back part, 276 grams. It truly is a very balanced design that I personally enjoy and can wear for hours at a time. Unfortunately, PICO did not improve the facial interface. It's still pretty hard, which was criticized by many PICO 4 users and forced them to buy third-party solutions that offered a softer fit. Gladly, you can still use the same third-party interfaces on the new headsets as they are still compatible. I do like the design with the battery in the back, but over the years I've learned to appreciate the flexibility that the Quest approach gives me by allowing me to use different straps for different occasions. The balanced hard strap is great for prolonged use, but when I travel and want to use a headset in a plane, for example, the biggest strap that I cannot disassemble is a problem. So probably not gonna use that on a plane, but rather my AVP instead. Visuals. Let's talk about the visuals. And as mentioned, that's the part that disappointed me about this refresh. Directly when I first booted up the headset for the very first time, you're greeted with exactly the same boot logo. You can see exactly the same individual pixels in the PICO logo that you already saw on the older model, and you see the same lens glare. It's just disappointing as an owner of the original headset that nothing has changed. But let's go into detail here. Displays. You're still looking at the same two 2160 by 2160 LCD panels. These panels offer typical LCD colors, so nothing to write home about. And blacks still look grayish, just like in 2022. PICO has increased brightness by a bit via software. They say it's 25% brighter than in the PICO 4, but honestly speaking, the difference was not really striking to me. Also, there's not a big difference in colors, even though PICO says they have optimized the color profile via software. The biggest problem of the displays is still that there are Mura-like inconsistencies in the panel. Not all pixels show colors at the same intensity, which results in a distracting pattern that, well, is especially visible in scenes with uniform colors. It's not as bad as in the PSVR at all, but it is exactly as bad as in the original PICO 4. This might have been okay in 2022, but now this has to compete against the Quest 3 screens, which are also not perfect in this regard, but without a doubt better. Thanks to the updated SoC, the rendered base resolution is now much higher at 1920 by 1920 pixels as compared to the 1560 by 1560 pixels of the PICO 4. So yes, your standalone games will look better in the PICO 4 Ultra as compared to the predecessor. PICO also likes to point out that the new base resolution is higher than that of the Quest 3, which is only 1680 by 1760 pixels in standalone mode. That is not a fair comparison though, because developers can easily render at multiples of this base resolution, and in direct comparison of actual games, you will see that Quest 3 games are often optimized for the Quest 3, while the same games on PICO 4 Ultra are not optimized for that chip. Red Matter 2, for example, runs at 2688 by 2688 rendered resolution on the PICO 4 Ultra, while the same game renders at a 3322 by 3590 pixels on Quest 3 using the dynamic resolution function of the device. So let me directly say it out loud here. The Quest 3 visuals simply look better than those of the PICO 4 Ultra, period. That's because of the better displays, much better lenses, which we'll talk about in the next section, and the many more optimized games. Lenses. We're still looking at the same pancake lenses of 2022. These are not bad and still offer a big sweet spot. Unfortunately, they are plagued with glare though. Especially in high contrast scenes, you can clearly see reflections and glare that can be quite distracting. It is just disappointing to see that PICO did not come up with better lenses in order to compete with the much better Quest 3 lenses. The Quest 3 lenses have much less glare and also offer a much improved edge-to-edge clarity. The optical stack is just so important in a headset because, well, that part is simply responsible for what you see in VR. Let's talk about the FOV and the binocular overlap. Now, since nothing has changed, the PICO 4 Ultra still offers one of the best binocular overlaps of any headset on the market. As you know, by following MRTV over the years, the binocular overlap is really important for a comfortable, more natural viewing experience in VR that is easy on the eyes and offers good 3D perception. The PICO 4 series excels in this, while offering even a good FOV of around 102 degrees horizontally and vertically for my personal measurement. I measure 104 degrees horizontally on the Quest 3 for my head shape, but the Quest 3 buys this slight advantage by sacrificing binocular overlap. So if it was just for the comfortable viewing experience, I would actually prefer the PICO 4 series over the Quest 3 if it was not limited by the display and lens quality. That is why I'm even more bummed out that PICO did not improve the optical stack at all. Let's talk about pass-through and mixed reality. Thanks to the new cameras in the front of the headset, the PICO 4 Ultra now also offers a depth-correct pass-through. And that at a higher resolution than the Quest 3. And it does show. The pass-through looks good, and directly at launch, it does have less of the wavy distortions than Quest 3 when challenged with objects that move close to the cameras. You can also see the high resolution when trying to read small text or when looking at other details in your environment. It is a good pass-through that will allow you to spend time in mixed reality, making use of the new OS functions that I will talk about later in this review. Also, mixed reality games simply look better now than on the predecessor, since you are now seeing your environment in 3D. It all works well, and this also opens up the PICO platform to mixed reality games that so far did only make sense on Meta's Quest platform. Is the pass-through double as good though as the resolution bump suggests? Unfortunately, that is not the case. The pass-through also suffers from quite a bit of noise in low light situations, and well, there is motion blur when you move your head, and in my opinion, the colors seem to suffer from too high contrast. Probably PICO engineers wanted to increase the perceived sharpness like this, but I personally prefer more natural colors like the Quest or AVP offer. This is something that can still be fixed though. Overall, this is an improvement over Quest 3 if colors will be fixed, but this can still not compete with the pass-through of the Apple Vision Pro that still reigns supreme. Let's talk about the spatial camera. Catching up to the competition, the PICO 4 Ultra also offers the capability to capture spatial videos and pictures with the device itself. That's a functionality that both the Quest 3 and the AVP offer as well. While I do not really use the headset to record spatial videos, I often do so with my iPhone 15 Pro in order to watch them in VR later. It's nice to see that I could watch those same spatial videos I took with my iPhone on the PICO 4 Ultra as well. That being said, the PICO 4 Ultra is capable of recording spatial videos with 60 FPS as compared to the 30 FPS of the Apple Vision Pro. And yeah, those videos look really good. I was surprised how much I liked that feature. It is still unlikely though that I will now bring my PICO 4 Ultra to the night markets in Taiwan to capture spatial videos. Let's talk about controllers and tracking. The controllers also got an upgrade and are now ringless, just like the Quest 3 controllers. You need 2 AA batteries per controller, which makes them quite a bit heavier than the Quest 3 controllers. Overall, they feel solid though, and they are a bit bigger than those of the competition, which users with bigger hands will appreciate. I personally like the Pico 4 controllers, but I can also see that the ringless controllers are now overall less bulky and easier to carry around. The headset tracks just as well as the predecessor did, and the 4 tracking cameras do a good job tracking the headset as well as the controller's position. Let's talk about audio. The Pico 4 Ultra is using the same built-in speakers for audio as the original Pico 4, and that is totally fine. The headset is capable of delivering clear and loud audio that is even good enough to enjoy rhythm games. There is still no 3.5mm headphones jack anyways, but that's alright. We now have a 4 microphone array that is capable of recording spatial audio, a feature that is used for spatial video recordings. And the microphones sound so good, probably better than my studio microphone here, but listen for yourself. This is the microphone of the Pico 4 Ultra. This is the microphone of the Pico 4 Ultra. Peter Parker plays piano. Peter Parker plays piano. Operating system. We can see quite a bit more interesting updates when looking at the new operating system. Finally, Pico is also arriving in the mixed reality era. You can now switch to pass-through mode and see your apps and windows in your own environment. And thanks to the 4 GB of additional RAM as compared to the Quest 3, you could open more apps at the same time. While you can open up to 6 windows on the Quest 3, you can now open up to 20 on the Pico 4 Ultra and position them in a circle around you. I wonder who really wants to open so many windows though, but more RAM is definitely a good thing. Just like before, you can easily install Android apps, and this function works out of the box. So why not install a third-party app store like Aurora and use your favorite apps in VR? You can absolutely place them around you and enjoy living in that spatial future that we're still dreaming of. And yes, mirroring your Mac or Windows PC in VR works out of the box. Take that, Apple Vision Pro. Of course, you can also connect your wireless keyboard and mouse to the headset, giving you that multi-monitor setup on the go that you as a busy crypto trader might need. I really like the OS and how simple it is to run my favorite Android apps in mixed reality. Well done, Pico. As a next step though, I would really appreciate it if you could free me from the confines of this circle around me that all windows are forced into. I would rather place a virtual screen on my wall and another one at my physical screen and so on, just like I can do on the AVP and on the Quest 3. There would be a much better use of those additional gigabytes of RAM. So now let's talk about the motion trackers. The motion trackers are incredible, simple as that. There is nothing I have to criticize here, and they are the real USP for the Pico 4 series in my opinion. They are small, incredibly light and easy to install. Better yet, they are included for free if you make use of the pre-order deal. Yes, 599 euros for the headset, 4 games and the motion trackers. That's really a good launch offer. If you want to buy the motion trackers separately for your Pico 4, or if you missed the launch deal, you'll be able to pick up a pair of those trackers for only 89 euros. That is still a very good price, considering how much you have to pay for the competition, where a single tracker could set you back 150 euros. Setting up these trackers is a thing of seconds. They work with a combination of IMUs and IR tracking that your headset picks up. So you could think of them as mini controllers that you strap to your ankles. And it just works so well. At launch, 20 games are supported, most importantly of course, VR chat. And again, it simply works. You boot up VR chat and in both standalone mode or PCVR, your avatar is now fully tracked. Show your dance moves, impress with taekwondo kicks, or simply express yourself how you could only do so thanks to full body tracking. But it's really not only VR chat that could take advantage of those trackers. Games like Tempo Club impressively show how much fun it is to be fully tracked in VR. Now it's not just your hands that could destroy blocks flying towards you, but instead you need to stamp on them or kick at the right timing to get that high score. It is truly a blast, and as I said above, a unique selling proposition. The one area where PICO really innovates here instead of just catching up to the competition. Game library. Now let's talk about games. Yes, the PICO store has a lot of them, and you will find most games that are also on the Quest store. But not all of them. Yeah, and there are still exclusive games that you can find only on Quest, like Asgard's Wrath 2, the upcoming Batman game, or yeah, Beat Saber. On top of that, most games are still not optimized for the Pico 4 Ultra chip, a problem that the Quest 3 also was faced with at the beginning of its life cycle. Now, will this change over time? It certainly depends on Pico and if they incentivize developers to put in the additional work to update the Pico 4 titles. It's in the realm of possibility, but it's not a certainty. If you're in it for the games, you should better make sure that your favorite titles are supported on the Pico platform, and you should check if they actually run an optimized version of it. Quest 3 is without a doubt the much better option here. It's where things are at right now for standalone games, and new games will without a doubt launch on the Meta Store as first priority. On top of that, there's the Quest Game Optimizer app that will allow you to increase resolution at will, even making unoptimized games look good. The Pico 4 Ultra severely lacks such an app, especially because of the many unoptimized games. So in a nutshell, the Pico 4 Ultra cannot compete against the Quest 3 in terms of standalone games, not at all. But there is still PCVR streaming, so let's talk about that. The Pico 4 Ultra now supports Wi-Fi 7 that offers faster data transfers and less latency if you happen to have a Wi-Fi 7 router. But if you hope that Wi-Fi 7 could unlock a whole new level of wireless PCVR streaming experience that could rival that of a native DisplayPort connection, I must unfortunately disappoint you. The speed of your wireless network is not the bottleneck for PCVR streaming. The SoC that's responsible for encoding and decoding the video stream is. And therefore, while it's certainly great to have the latest technology on board that can help to keep the connection more stable at high bit rates and shave off a few milliseconds of the latency, it's just not a game changer. PCVR streaming has been fantastic on the Pico 4 already, and thanks to the inclusion of the AV1 codec, it is even better now. But again, you are still looking through the lenses from 2022. In direct comparison, I would even give the Pico 4 Ultra the edge over the Quest 3 because I simply love that more wholesome picture that the bigger binocular overlap is giving me. If it wasn't for the glare, that simply reminds me that I'm still looking through the optical stack from 2 years ago. Which, again, brings us to square one. This could have been so much better. So, let's come to the conclusion. The Pico 4 Ultra is a really good VR headset that is fairly priced. For around 50 euros more than the entry-level Quest 3, you're getting the same capable Snapdragon SoC with 4 more GB of RAM, double the memory, a high resolution pass-through, more battery capacity with quick charge function, the latest Wi-Fi 7 standard, and even full body tracking if you make use of the pre-order bundle. On paper, it's a no-brainer to choose the Pico 4 Ultra over the Quest 3. Unfortunately, in reality though, the Pico 4 Ultra will have a tough time to compete on the consumer market. The device is just the urgently needed refresh that allows Pico to at least stay in the game, but it's not enough to rule it. This could have been so much more if Pico had also improved the lenses and the displays. In 2022, the display and lens combination of the Pico 4 could easily win against that of the Quest 2. The optical stack was without a doubt superior. In 2024 though, those same lenses and displays don't stand a chance against the Quest 3, which simply offers the better visuals. And taking into consideration that the Meta Store also simply offers more games, more exclusives, and more experiences that are optimized for the XR2 Gen 2, it's simply tough to recommend the Pico 4 Ultra to anyone that is not interested in its full body tracking capabilities. That said, the motion trackers truly are an innovation and they work incredibly well. VR chatters can now completely delve into VR chat, including a fully body tracked avatar for only 600 euros. The trackers also open up completely new game experiences, and if you would like to explore what it feels like to use all of your body in VR, the Pico 4 Ultra, including the trackers, is a great way to do so. The headset will without a doubt make a bigger impression on the enterprise market though. The updated pass-through capabilities and the updated OS with its traditionally strong support for third-party apps and Android APKs will make this a top choice for companies that need a modern mixed reality headset that does not break the bank and comes from a company that has a proven track record of strong business support. Overall, I'm glad that Pico at least stays in the game, even though the Pico 4 Ultra is ultimately not the headset that I personally had hoped for. But who knows, this might just be an in-between headset to buy the company more time to come up with a headset that truly could rival the Apple Vision Pro on the high-end sector, as well as the upcoming Quests on the mainstream market. I truly hope that this could answer all of your questions about the Pico 4 Ultra. If you enjoy independent XR reviews just like this one here that are fair and thorough, then absolutely subscribe to this channel here and click on the bell button so that you don't miss anything. Should you have any more questions, put them in the comment section or come to the MRTV Discord server. The link is also down in the description of this video. Yes, so that's it. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and I'm looking forward to see you in the next episode. Until then, bye-bye.